All right, let's go to my main man with the plan. In the back there he is.
Yo, what's good?
All right, how we doing back there?
Doing good, man. That AZ energy is rubbing
Bro,
off, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I need him to have an alarm
real.
for me, just
Yeah.
screaming at me to get up in the morning because I can go conquer the world with that.
Man, that energy as a coach must be amazing. To walk into a room and just be like, "Yo, you're working out today. We're doing this. We're doing that."
And that's the kind of guy who just doesn't. You hate him in the sense that if you dare to have an excuse, they have zero bandwidth for it. Zero.
Which is ultimately what you want.
It's what you want, exactly. That's why you get mad at them. That's why I hated my drill instructors, and then I left, and I was like, oh, wait, I actually did a lot of things under their tutelage.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got here, folks, for the calls today?
All right, we got a bunch of calls.
By the way, we still have another interview left, so
yes, we do.
We should we'll join a little bit later.
Yep. So let's take, today's actually the UFC's birthday, right? 25.
Yeah, it is.
So let's discuss the event and how they celebrated, if they celebrated the right way on Saturday.
All right.
Hey guys, this is Josh from Windsor, Ontario. Just a quick question about the 25th anniversary show. There was a lot of criticism about Bellator 200 taking place overseas and not in America. Do you feel like it was the wrong move to have the 25th anniversary show as a Fox event as opposed to a pay-per-view and not on the night of the actual 25th anniversary? And also, didn't seem like Dana White was present either. Do you feel like any of this will come to light and that maybe it took away from the importance of the event? Thanks, guys. Love the show. Love how you flipped it. You made it your own, and it's awesome. Take care. Bye.
By the way, in terms of making the show our own, we haven't even gotten close to doing that yet. We've made some progress, but
this is a beta. This
is wait till you see 2 or 3.0. Anyway, let me I don't know how you feel about this one. Let's go through it. Graphics package we loved.
Yes.
Sound
Denver check.
Denver check. The fact that you couldn't do it on the day itself to me is irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean you can't possibly compete with this show. So, it was a good idea that they had it on Saturday.
Pretty sure Dana White was there. I believe I saw him speak to Megan. No, sorry, Laura Senko. Well, I believe was there.
But he wasn't there in the sense of, I don't think he had
no, he didn't promote
press conference. No. Yeah.
So in all those things, I give him high marks. In terms of promoting it, they just didn't put in a lot of effort. Yeah. I don't really know. My buddy lives in Denver. He's a UFC fan. He didn't go because he didn't even know until I told him, which tells me they didn't really dig too much into that Denver market. Nationally, they didn't promote it. So what do you want me to say? They're at the end of this Fox deal. I think they're just kind of punting a little bit. I appreciated the effort that they put in. It would have been nice if it had been a little bit more, but it just wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I do think, and this caller brings up something interesting, it should have been a pay-per-view, right? I mean,
yeah,
they should have, I don't know, maybe had the fight night before and then had UFC 230 be this weekend or something, this past weekend. It should have felt more important, right? 25 years, that's a nice, solid, number.
Yeah, well, the thing is, are we going to do this every 5 years, though? It's like, oh, here's
our... why not?
Are we? Are we?
30?
Come on, man. It feels like, here's the 20th celebration. Here's the 25th. Here's the 30th. It's like, are we going to have...
You only turn 25 once.
I understand, but are we going to have these reflections about how far we've come from the SEG era every 5 years? On some point, I kind of get that it's like, yeah, all right, it's cool,
I guess you're right.
I would have preferred a pay-per-view, but I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, it is not that big of a deal, but they did sort of undersell it.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Now we got a lady caller. We haven't had a lady calling in a while.
That's because ladies don't watch the show.
Hey, this is Alexandria Patton from Gainesville, Florida. Shout out Shady Swisher. So my question for you, Luke and Danny, is who do you think Cowboy's next opponent's going to be? I heard he's going down to 155, and they already have an opponent lined up. So who's it going to be? Thanks, guys.
So I don't know who she shouted out there.
Yeah, I know. Was that some millennial lit AF thing that I don't understand?
I don't know. The connection was a little
Shady Swisher.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. Hey, but shout out to Gainesville. I've been there before. I had a lot of friends that went to UF. It's a nice town.
Gainesville?
Yeah, Gainesville, Florida.
I would rather die than live in Gainesville.
Underrated, Florida. Man. You should take a trip.
I won't.
Cheap drinks. You can get drinks for 75 cents.
I have cheap drinks in my living room. I don't need
for
to
75
do that.
cents?
Well, I don't know about that, but how good can they be for 75 cents?
Well, not so great, but if you're a college student on a budget, man, that's heaven. Yeah.
All right, who's next for Cowboy? Well, we talked about Justin Gaethje. I mean, I don't know how you go anywhere other place than Justin Gaethje, right? I guess you could say maybe where is he ranked currently? Cerrone at lightweight.
Well, he's not ranked because
because he was at welterweight.
He's considered a welterweight.
And so there he's 12. So if you go over to lightweight, here's 10 and below. Michael Chiesa, James Vick, Alexander Hernandez, Francisco Trinaldo, Dan Hooker, and Paul Felder. Boy, a Dan Hooker fight. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, but like, I'm
you're hating on the Dan Hooker thing?
Look. No. I think it's a fantastic fight. The wonderful thing about Cowboy is that you can literally pit him against anybody, and I'd be like, yeah. Great fight. Sign me up.
Hernandez is taking a fight on short notice. Felder and Vick are back together. There's Massa Randuba, but that doesn't do anything for me. Hooker I could go with. Diaz, obviously, but they already done that. Iaquinta is going to be facing Lee, Pettis, and then Gaethje. So Gaethje's
So the thing with Hooker is that I'm kind of tired of seeing Cowboy just go up against these young. I mean, and I know he doesn't have an issue with it against these like young up and coming guys. Let's face him with someone in his era. I feel like there's still a lot of guys that are his age that are fantastic fights. We almost saw Jose Aldo versus Cowboy Cerrone at UFC Sao Paulo earlier this year. They almost booked that fight. Why not? Jose Aldo's been talking about 155. You know, a good WEC throwback. You can put that in the main event of an ESPN card.
All right,
it's pretty.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay, but I could go. I get your point. It's like they keep feeding this guy to the wolves.
Yeah.
But that's sort of what he likes, and if that's what he likes, I could easily get on board with the Dan Hooker fight. But if they want to go higher, Justin Gaethje's fine too.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje would be also a really fun fight.
But there's not a lot of wrong answers. There's just guys who are booked. And Chiesa, by the way, has jumped over to welterweight, so he doesn't even count.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, next.
All right, let's talk about the main event.
This is Bobby from Providence, Rhode Island. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Terrible.
Oh, that's great. Hey, I was wondering, who do you think was winning that Korean Zombie Yair fight? I've seen some reports online that were saying that they thought the Korean Zombie was winning. Did they actually show the scorecards? And if not, who do you think was winning? Thank you.
No, well, we know who was winning. So what happens is,
happy.
All right, yeah, let's.
You know, the UFC will email you after every fight. They email you quotes from the winner, sometimes quotes from the loser, and then they'll send you the official scorecards, even up to the point where how far they were. Now, if it gets finished inside of a round, then there's no scorecards. But if it goes at least one or more, then they send you all of that inside an email. So you'll get on a fight night, you'll get like 12 emails from the UFC with all these, however many fights there are, and then they put all that in there. So he was up. Korean Zombie was up on 2, and he was tied with another. When I watched it the first time, I thought maybe 2-2. I maybe leaned Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
I watched it today. I didn't feel as strongly about it. I was kind of on the 2-2 mark. I could have seen 3-1 for Korean Zombie. Wouldn't have had an issue with it. But I did not see it 3-1 Yair. I would have definitely said best case scenario for Yair. It was 2-2, and I would have scored the third round, by the way, for Korean Zombie. He was on his way to losing, in my judgment.
Okay. Yeah, I had first round Korean Zombie. And keep in mind, I'm also working as I'm watching the fight. So, I'm tuning in and out.
Right.
So, keep that in mind.
It's a big deal. Folks don't realize
it is a huge deal, yeah. You solely want to be focused on the fight, and that's it. But anyway, so I had the first round to Korean Zombie, second and third to Yair, and fourth I had it to Korean Zombie.
Okay.
So I had it tied up.
Okay, you did.
Going into
yeah. I can't remember how round by round I scored it.
But it was a close fight, man. It was super close.
It was close. It just felt like to me that as the time went on, the boxing, the jab in particular of Korean Zombie began to take over.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry that I'm having an allergy attack. I can barely breathe.
Hey, all good, man. You're repping there the flu season starter pack.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. I am getting torn up here. Sorry.
Just need some Dayquil.
Well, someone's going to hear this on the audio podcast, and they're going to get all bitter, and all the YouTube commenters are going to tear me to pieces. But what can I do? I mean, I'm supposed to take an Allegro on the air.
All right. So let's discuss, a few stats that got thrown out there about the main event.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is John. I'm calling from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Now, look, bro, I don't want to sound crazy because I was saying it all night, but doesn't Korean Zombie and Yair Rodriguez, don't they look like they're the same height? Why is there such a big discrepancy on the stats, though? It says that Korean Zombie's 5'7" and Yair's 5'11". I'm watching these guys weigh in. I'm watching them face off. That can't be fact, man. Those guys look about the same height, their level. For a 4-inch discrepancy is a 4-inch discrepancy, ain't it? It's like John Jones versus DC. Like, is like height different? Like, the numbers are different in Korea or something? That dude's not 5'7". You know what I mean? Either that or Yair's not 5'11", and I'm pretty sure he's 5'11". I don't know. Call me crazy, but they look the same height. Thanks, guys. I don't know. Can you look into that?
All right, so fun little question here.
Yeah.
So actually on the UFC page, and if you look in Wikipedia, Chen Sung-young, Korean Zombie, is 5'7", Yair Rodriguez 5'11", but they're pretty much the same height.
Yeah, the UFC
I just want to
often
say,
botches that, by
yes, I once, when I was coming up and doing videos on my own, I did a breakdown with Marcus Brimage, former UFC fighter, about John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. And they had Alexander Gustafsson's reach somewhere along the 70s. It was like 76 or 77.
Yeah.
So I just went based off those stats. And John Jones was like 80-something. I'm like, yeah, and reach, they might be the same height, but, reach is completely different. Yeah, don't really trust those stats. Sometimes they get them wrong.
Well, I certainly think that John Jones's reach is beyond anybody else's. But the thing that folks have to realize is it's not merely your reach; it's how you use it. How good your timing is also affects how you maximize your reach. And I would say that Chan Sung Jung, who is, according to what I'm reading here, has a slightly greater reach than Yair. He used that slightly greater reach very, 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 very effectively. He was first to the jab a lot. He was first with the crosses a lot. He was jamming into the space so that the fight was constantly taking place at his boxing range. So, by the way, Fightnomics has shown that there's not much of a correlation between height differential in terms of having the advantage there and success. But, of course, there is with reach. So
yeah, for sure.
Take that for what it's worth.
Cool. Let's move on now to the heavyweight division. And someone's got a little bit of a, I guess, a proposition for you.
Oh, God. $1 million to bang your wife.
This is Rob from Toronto.
It's not that.
I was just wondering your thoughts. Let's just say that DC does what he's supposed to do. March, he beats Brock. Are we just back to where we were with the heavyweight division? Is it just going to be Stipe on top, a bunch of older guys? He's fighting them off. Do you really buy into John Jones going up there eventually? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts. And also, if Brock beats DC, will you do a shot of yellow mustard on air? Thanks.
Will you?
Why would I do a shot of yellow mustard on air?
I mean, what do you think DC...
It's like if Brock beats DC, you're going to go eat a pile of feces? Why would I do that? I'm not making a bet or something.
Uh-huh. That's true. Yeah. So I guess the answer is no. I mean, how confident are you that DC will beat Cormier?
That
DC will beat Brock.
If Brock beats DC, are you going to stick your genitalia in a bear trap? No. Why would I do that? That makes no sense at all. No, I'm not confident that Brock is going to beat DC. I think DC is going to handle him, no problem. And so the question goes, where are you? Like, where does that put you at such a position? There's a bit of we're back where we started to a degree. But Stipe, folks forget, he's 35. I think he's going to be 36 here pretty soon. Mm-hmm. That's still not necessarily over the hill for a heavyweight, but it's not spring chicken territory either. I do think that heavyweights having this revolution where a lot of the guys are getting pushed out. So who's going to be the guy to do all the major pushing? Is it Tuivasa? I don't know. Is it Blades? I don't know. Yeah. Can Ngannou have a bit of a rebound? I do think he can. So it doesn't exactly put you where you were before, but it's not dramatically different. The only X factor for me is Cain Velasquez coming back. Even DC tweeting about it, saying the division's waiting for you, belt's waiting for you. So that could be kind of interesting. But is it a massive, does the division go right back to what it was? Not exactly. Is it a major alteration? It's not that either. So.
Yeah, I agree. There's some young guys in there to cause enough interest, as well as Cain Velasquez return that I've been dying to see. So I don't think it'll go back to exactly where it was.
Hey, Danny, if Brock wins, are you gonna get a 4-hour prostate exam?
No, I'm too young for that shit. I'll pass. All right, let's talk about DC now.
All right.
Hello, this is Ryan from Cincinnati, Ohio. My question is, with Daniel Cormier's retirement coming up, aren't you disappointed a little as a fan simply because he's just too good to retire right now? Thanks. Goodbye.
No.
You wouldn't be upset at all?
I know what
Not
he's
even
saying.
a little bit?
No. I do not derive pleasure in watching the winning beaten out of a champion. I don't. No, I'm not talking about someone in a top of their form losing to someone better. I am talking about someone this good. We're talking about wherever you want to rank him as an all-time great. Do I want to see him stick around to the point where the thing that makes him special is beaten out of him. I absolutely do not. Leave something in the tank and walk away.
So I agree with you on that part, but what part of me believes that DC still has a lot left in him in the tank. I mean, I feel like right now he's like peaking. I feel like he's at his best right now. Especially with his move up to heavyweight, which is a much healthier choice for him. You know, he just displayed amazing KO power against Stipe, just completely manhandled Derek Lewis.
I wouldn't.
He's on fire.
I wouldn't argue with you, but here's what I would say. I think
he's got way more than just March.
You might be right. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with you. The only thing I'm going to say here, Danny, is that I believe, look, this was his second athletic career, and the guy fought till 40. If you wanted to watch Daniel Cormier compete, you got a solid 20 years of it. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
He does have a pretty solid career. All right, how much time do we have for questions?
Keep going. I got some time.
One or two more.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to run uptown like a freaking maniac.
All right, I'll let you pick Askren, Ortega, or Khabib.
Ooh, let's do Khabib.
Okay.
Hello, MMA Hour, and Luke Thomas. This is JD from the almighty Ontario, Canada. Sorry, this is my third call here, but once you start leaving questions, it just flows like.
Just get to the question, JD.
I was thinking about this the other day. Am I crazy in thinking that Khabib has yet to really meet a full-out crazy level wrestler? I was going through it in my head the other day, and I know he's met a couple of jiu-jitsu guys, but primarily striking people, if I'm not mistaken. Is it possible that maybe he's not too primed to fight an insane level wrestler like a Kevin Lee, for example? I don't know if I'm losing my mind on this. Probably am. But yeah, that is all. Be well.
All right, here's the question. Has he fought a wrestler the caliber of Kevin Lee? No. Kevin Lee might be the best lightweight in that division. And I'm not, let me understand, be clear with what I'm saying here. Mm-hmm. I am not declaring him to be.
You said might.
It might. In order for him to be that, he's got some winning to do. And the next step is Ally Quinta, and that's no easy task. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, he would have some steps to go into. So has he fought a wrestler that good? No. However, has he fought good wrestlers or guys who have good wrestling ability? Yes, he has, and he's done quite well. The one exception, of course, being the Gleason-Tebow fight. But Tebow was, the size of a goddamn Mack truck, and certainly had his own USADA issues later on. Anyway, point being is, let me be clear about this. Habib's the best wrestler in that division, and maybe the one up, right? That's what we're talking about here. So I understand. I want to see him against a Tony Ferguson, who I think has both porous but also very good takedown defense when he's deliberate about it. I want to see him against a Kevin Lee. I want to see all these fights, but I just want to be clear. We do this a lot with our champions, our good fighters, Danny. Well, what about this and what about that? And we nitpick and then we say, well, what has he really done? Khabib has done the incredible. That's what he's done.
Yeah. And I would also like to add, you don't need to go up against high-level wrestlers to just see where your wrestling is at. Like, just by the simple techniques and the things that he's pulling off, you can already tell Khabib is a very, very good wrestler. Like, you don't have to match him up against, Ben Askren or Kevin Lee, although interesting matchups, to tell that he's a really skilled wrestler and that he can, take just about anybody down.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more, and then I have to go running out of here like my heels are on fire, much like the rest of the SB Nation employees do on Friday at 3 p.m.
All right,
I'm just teasing. Can I tease? Can we tease on this show? Yeah, everyone's so uptight.
All right, let's do Ortega.
All right.
Hey, Luke, this is Graham from Rhode Island. Max Holloway has pulled out of his last 3 fights. He didn't make 155. I don't think he can make 145. So my question is, who should Brian Ortega fight when Max Holloway pulls out?
Woo.
I'm going to remain positive, and I'm going to say that he's going to make it, right?
First of all, that is a lot of hate.
Yeah, that is. Knock on wood, Holloway makes it. And I think he will. But let's say worst comes to worst, he does not. Who should fight who should fight Ortega for the belt?
Okay, and a couple of clarifications. He could have kept cutting to 155, a fight he took on extremely short notice.
It was a commission who stopped that.
And he probably would have cut the weight for the other one too, but my man was, going through a rough time. Now, in the event that something terrible happens, who should he face? I don't know. Can they really do an Edgar fight again? No. Jesus, who would even there be at featherweight for crying out
there
loud?
is. It depends if I think Aldo would stick around to 45 if he gets an immediate shot. So I think
You could do Renato Moicano with that because
Yeah.
I was that was 214 when Ortega fought Moicano.
Yeah.
And Moicano was winning that fight.
mixing him up. Yeah.
Until the very last end, then Brian Ortega did Brian Ortega things. I suppose you could do that. Chad Mendez is kind of an interesting test.
Yeah.
But the options aren't nearly as good. But I'm like with you. I think very highly of Max Holloway's ability. I know he had a rough run, but okay. I'm hoping that he centered things out, and when he is centered, he's a tough customer and he makes the weight. But that was a lot of hate.